Ready or not. Who knew that we would hear about this game again? It has been originally announced in May of 2017, that's over 4 years ago, and ever since then it went quiet with some sporadic news popping here and there. But if you are a supporter and have been paying close attention over the past few months, then you probably know that the game has been moving towards a major comeback, and it would appear that the long wait is finally over, as just this past week Void Interactive has announced that the new alpha version of the game is now available for the owners of the Supporter Edition, with the addition of the NDA being lifted for all content from that point onward. Now, while it means that there are still plenty of things that I can't talk about, I do want to share my thoughts on the game, because as someone who grew up on games like SWAT 4 and Rainbow Six 3, I have been quietly waiting for the Ready or Not to finally reach its full potential. It definitely still needs some work, but the vision that the developers originally had for the game is coming to fruition, and after spending a couple of hours with it over the weekend, I can safely say, Ready or Not is going to be a worthy successor to the SWAT series. So, what exactly is Ready or Not? It is a tactical police shooter which aims to provide a relatively realistic portrayal of the law enforcement units, such as SWAT, FBI or HRT. The game requires a slow and methodical approach, rewarding teamplay and coordination. It comes with a couple of levels, ranging from meth houses, hotels, car dealerships, etc. Each level can be played in a variety of scenarios. The most common one, which is a direct adaptation of the classic SWAT 4 mode of the same name, is Barricaded Suspects, where you and your team have to bring order to chaos by securing the civilians and neutralizing the threat from a number of armed suspects. Each time you play, both civilians and the suspects spawn in completely different areas of the map, making for a highly replayable experience. On top of that, the game also includes some of the additions from the SWAT Elite Force mod, such as the traps which can randomly spawn on certain doors, forcing you to be careful and strategic in approach to every room you clear and every door you open. But Barricaded Suspects is not the only mode available. The game also offers Raid, which is a version of the same mode but with more resilient and aggressive suspects. An armed shooter where the suspects are roaming the map with intent to harm the civilians, requiring you to quickly locate them and take them out before there will be too many casualties. Then we have a bomb threat, where aside from the suspects and civilians, there is also a number of armed bombs on the map, which you have to find and defuse before they blow up. And finally, a hostage rescue, where suspects hold a number of civilians hostage in a single room on the map that you have to find, breach and clear. The game provides you with a plethora of weapons which you can customize with different optics and attachments, such as silencers or tactical flashlights. Aside from your weapons, you also have a bunch of additional equipment to choose from, various types of tactical grenades, door wedges, an OptiWand tool, a riot shield, a battering ram and more. Your choice of armor and headgear also matters, as it might provide you with protection from various threats at a cost of mobility or a limited field of view. So, as the game is entering the next phase of alpha, obviously there are still quite a few aspects that it needs to iron out. The performance is definitely going to need to be addressed. Even though the game ran generally fine on my now relatively old PC, I think there is still quite a lot of room for improvement. Obviously some of the maps are not quite done yet, and aside from that the only major problem that I ran into was the AI, which at times had some difficulty with navigation. The fellow officers on my team were prone to often getting themselves stuck on stairs or in some tight spaces. Presumably it is an issue that is well known to the developers, and we are going to see an improvement there over the course of the next few updates. Other than that, to be honest, I don't really have much to complain about. The game is really intense and I think it will be quite addictive once it's fully out. Of course, aside from the single player and co-op offering, the game is also going to include a PvP multiplayer, which was being playtested in the past few months, but I haven't had a chance to participate. From what I could tell though, it still needs a lot of work, but I think it has some potential to find its own niche in the community. Hell, if done right, it actually could become a low-key competitive shooter, as it did remind me a lot of what everyone thought that Rainbow Six Siege would be when it was first announced. Anyway, I am looking forward to see how Ready or Not is going to evolve. If you like the games such as SWAT 3 or 4 or even the older Rainbow Six games, then I think you should be interested in this one, as it is the true spiritual successor to these games, and it might be the one to finally succeed at recapturing what made them so special. That's it for today. Thank you for watching, I hope that you are having a good day, and I will see you around.